Which to me is also another fallacy that I keep hearing people talking about online when they say that it's a bad bank loan. It's not a bad bank loan.
It's not a bank loan because you don't have to pay it back. Yeah, so it's not
no
a bank
bank is going to ever let you not pay the fucking money back.
Exactly. It's actually a huge risk to the record company.
Risk, yeah.
But it's not good debt because it's almost you're taking money and you're giving up too much in exchange for the money.
When you're giving up too much, yeah.
And especially when you have success, you actually put yourself in a bad position from an overall business standpoint because you don't own anything.
Unless you own it, like you said, unless if you own 70-30.
Yeah, unless you own the rights, unless you have
a
true profit split, not a royalty, like a profit split deal.
Yeah.
And it's very important that you do a profit split deal.
Yeah.
Where everything comes off the top, all expenses come off the top.
Because explain the other
royalty
way.
deal. I mean, a royalty deal, everything is charged against your account. So at the end of the day, if you're in a royalty, let's assume a superstar royalty is 20%. Every single A&R cost is charged against your 20%. So just for the sake of math, let's say you know, they invested $100,000, into your advance. They invested another $300,000 to make your record and another $300,000 to market you. So call it $700,000. And let's say they made a profit of like $5 million, right? They're automatically taking their distribution fee off the top of that $5 million. So the distribution fee is 20%, which it usually is. They just basically put $100,000, $1 million away. And now they got $4 million to account to you on. And they spent $700,000, but out of that $700,000, $400,000 was considered A&R, which is 100% recouped against your share.
Yeah.
So for every $4 million profit, you are entitled to 20%.
Right.
So technically in your royalty account, they're supposed to give you $1 million. But out of that $1 million, you have to pay back $400,000 out of your share because you got to recoup the A&R expense 100%. So just take off another $400,000. Now you're left with $600,000 and the label has $3 million plus the $1 million they took off the top. So the label has $4 million. You have literally $600,000 because you have to recoup that first $400,000. And then you also got to pay back the marketing costs, 50% of those costs. So on what would be a $5 million revenue stream on your record, you may have made $200,000 and the label made $3.5 million, right? Because you're in a royalty deal. And listen, $200,000 your way, $3.5 million their way, that's not fair, right?
It's robbery.
So what they do, they'll give you a $400,000 advance. So now they just basically gave you your money back as an advance. If you actually made a profit for a second album, because they have a 3-album deal with you. And now you're in debt, negative 200, because they just gave you $400,000. You had a $200,000 profit in your royalty account off of a $5 million revenue stream. And they made $3.5 million. Now they want to give you a $400,000 advance. So now you're back in debt $200,000 because they're just paying you out of your own money.
Right.
And they do it all over again. And before you know it, let's say the second album doesn't work out. And now instead of making $200,000 on $5 million, they spent $2 million now. And now they only did another $5 million in revenue. Now you're down $750,000. And now you know what happens? They'll try to give you another advance to see if they can recoup it off of a third album. Now you're in debt $1.2 million. And eventually you get dropped. The record doesn't do anything and they write it off. And it's the cycle of the record business over and over and over again, especially when you're in a royalty deal. Most artists never ever see any money from royalties.